How are you guys? Oh my goodness, I am so excited. Let's dive in. All right, here we go. Let me just check. Can you guys see me and can you hear me? Put a yes in the chat. Amazing. All right, here we go. Let's ride, my queens. 2 years ago, I was a mom of three, sitting at my kitchen table earning $70 a month. And I made a decision. I wasn't going to wait for someday. I was going to collapse the timeline. I was going to build the life that I saw so vividly in my mind, the life I could feel in my bones right now. And that decision changed everything. In just 13 months, I went from $70 a month to my first $100,000 cash month. And in 2 years, I crossed the 1 million in cash collected. And the thing is, I did it without sacrificing the life that I wanted outside of business. The mom, the wife, the woman who is present, alive, and deeply fulfilled. Because I believe you can have it all. Nothing is mutually exclusive. I'm Bree Kane. I'm the founder and CEO of the Kane Collective, an empire built to transform the virtual assistant industry and the women who lead it. Through the VA Leadership Academy, through Icon Enlightening, my VA agency, VA Fest Live, the industry's first in-person conference, and our upcoming TWIV VA app, we have trained over 15,000 women. 15,000 women to build profitable, flexible, high-value virtual assistant businesses from home. We've matched them with ambitious entrepreneurs who are scaling legacies. We've changed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lives. Women who are now earning more than they ever imagined, working on their own terms and living the reality they once thought was too big for them. We are not here to play in the shallow end. We are here to redefine what's possible. We are here to build industry-dominating teams, to scale with savage ease, and to lead a movement of women who are wealthy, free, and unapologetically in their power. At the Kane Collective, we don't just give you strategy. We give you the identity, the belief, the reality rewiring that makes those strategies inevitable. We collapse timelines, we make the impossible inevitable, and we do it over and over and over again. The revolution is in motion. The women inside of the Kane Collective, they are not waiting for permission. We are rewriting the rules, we're taking over industries, and we are setting the new standard for what's possible. We are a category of one. We are the proof that you can have it all. Wealth, freedom, impact, legacy, without compromise. And we are not slowing down. Be part of the movement, because this isn't just business growth. This is an uprising. This is the Kane Collective, and the world will never be the same after us. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. I want to know, how are you guys feeling about today? Are you ready to have the best day of your life, to be expanded so deeply, to see bigger than you've ever seen before? Put a yes in the chat if you're like, I don't even know what's happening, but I have buckled up and I am ready. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's freaking go. So I would also love to know, before we dive in, where are you at? Do you have a virtual assistant business? Are you thinking about starting one? Tell us in the chat where you are at in your virtual assistant business journey. And I want to fill you in on something. Those of you who've been live with me before, you know this. You know that I love, actually, I'm not even going to say it. Put the word in the chat if you know what I'm going to say. I love a blank chat. But yes, Danelle, exactly. I love when you guys are completely unhinged. Like, we are suspending reality. We are suspending logic. We are suspending societal norms. And we are going to have the next 2 hours are going to be the times of our lives. We are going to be fully present, engaged. My hope is that you meet your absolute best friends today live on the call. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. Be unhinged, stream of consciousness. Okay, I love it. Amanda wanting to start one. Amazing. Tanya, unhinged. Jessica's in the beginning. Tasha, starting your business. Kelly, beginning. Angela, starting to think about it. Meg, let's freaking go. Meg, is that per month? That is amazing. By the way, Meg started her business inside of the VA Leadership Academy. Meg, you need to be on Breadwinner. Next Breadwinner girl, we're pulling you up. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Let's freaking go. Okay. So, my name is Bree, as you guys probably know, and I am a really normal mom of three. I work out of my 4-year-old's bedroom. That like this is where I'm at. I've never had my own office. But the one thing that I have always had was a big vision. I would see other women, my benchmark was 30K months. I was like, wait, this is insane because my first job out of college, I earned 30K annually. And I would see these women doing crazy things and be like, how is this even possible? But also, like, if it is possible, sign me up. I'm in. And it has been a wild journey of not just business growth, but personal growth. And I know, those of you who've been in business building, I'm sure you would agree. Put yes in the chat if you building your business has been the greatest personal growth catalyst. And honestly, that's one of my favorite parts. I am not the same woman that I was when I started my business journey. And it's like I think back and look back to, me at 5 years old. I'm like, dang, she would be so freaking proud. And that almost makes me emotional. But I mean, that's the point, right? Like we do this for our inner child, for our little selves. We do this, if you're a mom, we do this for our kids. We do this for ourselves because we know that there's something bigger and better out there. And the way that like what society tells us, you go to college, you get the job, you climb the ladder, like, yay, you've made it. And then suddenly you realize you're like, wait, but I have to ask for my time off. I have to, if my kid's sick, I have to like get permission to like go take care of them or risk losing my job. And I think we can all agree, put no thanks in the chat if you're like, yeah, that's not the life for me. No way, dude. No freaking way. Yes. Okay. So what we're doing today, I love to do these live workshops, live experiences. I live for it. It's like my favorite thing. Same with an unhinged chat. Favorite thing in the world. But I also recognize that sometimes I think it's more powerful. Like, yes, I've built the business, gone from VA to building an agency to, running one of the industry's leading virtual assistant training programs. But I also realize that sometimes when you are building your business or you're exploring becoming a virtual assistant, it's more powerful for you to hear from women who are actively like they've done the thing, they've expanded themselves, they've built the business, and just very real true stories of what it looks like in the trenches, if you will, right? Like these 4 women that I'm going to bring up and they're going to share their story with you today. And I've been chatting with all of them. We've had so much fun like texting and messaging, getting ready for today to bring you the best experience. But one of the things that's coming through, I've chatted with several of the women that are speaking today is like the real. They're like, is it okay if I share the messy parts of my story? And I'm like, please, like this is what, I want you to hear, not just sugarcoating, cherry on top, like, woohoo, look at me. Building a business takes work. There's no doubt about it. But the reason that we do it, the reason we fling ourselves out of the comfort zone is because the end point, being able to, have complete control and freedom over your schedule, to do work that you love, to make your 5-year-old self so freaking dang proud with the woman that you've become. The being able to tuck your kids in for naps in the middle of the day when maybe you were stuck in an office before. That's why we do it. And it's so worth it. And so I'm really excited for you guys to hear the real, true virtual assistant business building stories. Each of these 4 women has done the thing, and they have either the qualification to be able to share your story on this amazing event was that they either had to have out earned their corporate income or earn more than their husbands. And some of these women have done both. They've all done one of them. And like, what a fun thing. And put breadwinner in the chat if you are claiming, you're like, yes. Bree, you're going to be featuring me on one of these breadwinner events. I would love to do that, by the way. Yes, Zoe. So, oh my gosh, you guys. By the way, Zoe, can I share your story really quick? It's so cool. So, okay, cool. Zoe's on my team. She's amazing. And guess what Zoe also did? When you're on the team, you have access to the VA Leadership Academy. So a couple weeks ago, Zoe's like, Brie, is it cool if I just, go through this and implement it? She just messaged me this morning saying in 3 weeks she hit her 5K months. Are you kidding me? And I was her first client, right? I believe Zoe. She started with me at the end of January and it's like, wait, I love this. I want to build my business. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the Breadwinner event series, like this isn't going anywhere. This is so fun. And I just think it's so powerful for you to hear real true stories of women who are in it, truly in it. I would love to hear before we kick off with our first speaker. I want you to tell me in the chat. What what is the one thing that you hope to get out of today? Do you have any burning questions that you want our speakers to answer? Because there's another thing you need to know. I love an unhinged chat. And what I also love is that we get to co-create this experience together. This is not just me talking at you. This is not just our speakers, blah, blah, blah. Like, not that they would ever do that, like, or be that way, but this experience is for you to get what you need, get your questions answered, to be able to see the biggest possible picture of what it looks like to build your virtual assistant business. Okay, so I'm gonna look. Yes, baby by your side, Zoe, the best. Okay, Terry, how to scale. Oh, you're in for a treat, Terry. Our speakers have done exactly that. Okay, Jessica, where to look for these types of jobs. Amazing. So we'll have our speakers touch on that. What else, you guys? What else do you want to know? Amanda, how do you find clients? Amazing. Okay, we'll touch on that. This is great. Keep it coming because we want to give you exactly what you need today. And with that, are you guys ready for our first speaker? Drum roll, please. Let's go. Okay, Anisi, how to maximize the clients that you have. Zoe says yes. All right. So I'm going to bring up our first speaker. We have Tanya. Wait, no, Chelsea. Hold on. Let me check. Oh yeah, no, Chelsea. Chelsea, that's right. I have my schedule in front of me, but my handwriting is absolutely terrible. Okay, Chelsea is our first speaker. So Chelsea is the founder and CEO of the Chelsea Co. LLC. She's a former healthcare professional turned agency owner and educator, and she helps health-based businesses scale through systems and operations. Chelsea replaced her full-time income within months and she now teaches other women in healthcare how to build their profitable virtual assistant businesses too. And one of the things that I love about Chelsea's story is all these women who are speaking today, they've gone through the VA Leadership Academy, but what you're going to hear is that they came in at different places. And Chelsea already had a virtual assistant business when she came in, but she was at a very specific place and she had very specific goals. And so we're going to be talking all about it. And we'll go way back. Like, how did she even decide to become a VA in the first place? So, Chelsea, come on up. I am so excited to have you here today.
Hello, hi.
Hello. Oh my goodness.
Hi.
Okay. So let's just dive right in, Chelsea. I
Yeah.
would love to just start with your story. What was kind of the catalyst in the first place? Like before you had a virtual assistant business, what made you decide that you wanted to start one?
Yeah, so I became a mom really young, right? I was 21 when I became a mom. And I realized that, of course, having kids and being in the corporate world, as we all know, is really, really hard, right? So then fast forward a few years, I had my second daughter, and I was like, you know what? I really want to find a way to work online, work on home, like work at home on my own terms. So I dove into the network marketing world, which I was like, this is it. This is like my ticket to freedom. It's gonna, make all my dreams come true. And I quickly learned that that was not the case for me. I know some people, they're successful, but for me, that was not the case. And so I then became pregnant with my third daughter. And I was like, you know what? Something has got to give, right? Like what I'm doing is not working. I want to be able to just have that freedom, be there for my family, be there for my kids, not have to ask for time off. Um, And then COVID happened, and I realized that everything that I was doing already in the office, I could do that from home. So I was like, okay, this is like that light bulb moment where I'm like, this is I can take my skills and transfer them online. I just have to figure out how to do that. Now, I had never really known what a virtual assistant was before this, before starting my business. And so I did a little bit of diving into the VA world, and I enrolled in another course before Vala, which, taught me all the things. I got started and implemented everything that I learned and quickly scaled my business. So that was really like the catalyst of what propelled me into the VA world to where I am today.
Ah, I love it. Okay, so before we dive into like what happened next to where you are now, because Chelsea messaged me earlier saying she's like, Brie, guess what? So if it's okay with you, we'll share that on the call.
Yeah.
But I want to know because there's a lot of women here who share they're just in the phase of like starting to become a virtual assistant or thinking about it, seeing if it's for them. And so I'd love to hear you talk about, some of the early days of building your business, like finding clients, all of that. What were some of the things that you navigated or worked through to be able to, get that first client base?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was still working my full-time job when I launched my business. So I launched my business in January of 2022. So I was pregnant with my third baby. I was still working full-time, and I was so determined to not return to work after maternity leave. I would take my lunch breaks at work, laptop in hand. I'd go sit by myself, earphones in, and every day I would work a little bit on my portfolio. I would work a little bit on networking, which was really, really important in the beginning stages. It was really just getting into the places where your ideal client would be. Now, in the beginning, I really had no idea who I wanted to work with. Like, did I still want to stay in the healthcare world? Did I want to do something else? But I learned that to at least get started, healthcare was just what I was familiar with, and it was easy for me to talk to and own it, right? So I would take my lunch breaks, I would get in there and get in some Facebook groups, I would start networking, just providing value, just showing that I do know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there would be some job posts in there, so I would, respond to those, reach out to those providers or people, potential clients who were posting those. I send them some messages, just really connecting with the person instead of just hi, hire me, because people want to know that there's another human on the other side. But aside from doing that during my lunch breaks, after I came home and did, homework and dinner and bedtime, I would sit down at my kitchen table and do the same thing all over again. So everything I was doing during lunch break, I would do it again at nighttime because, again, I was determined that I was not going to go back. So after doing that, I landed my first client in March. So it took me about a month and a half of doing that consistently to finally land my first client. And then after that, it was really easy. After that, I knew what to do, so I just rinse and repeated. And then eventually I got the referrals. Like my clients were so happy with the work that I was providing that they referred me to all their doctor friends, and the rest is pretty much history. Scaled really.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah. And something I want to call out too is that you did niche and specialize in a specific area. And, not all VAs have to do that, but I think, and maybe I would assume you would agree that this allowed you to grow quicker because you were for a very specific client avatar that had a very specific need for what you did. And
Yeah.
so it was just like you were the obvious choice. So it's like referral. They're like, oh, I need help with this. And, oh, you got to go talk to Chelsea. This is what she does.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't like, I was all over the place. I mean, there was a point in my business where I wasn't sure that I wanted to stay in healthcare. Like I wanted to venture out and try something new. But at least in the beginning, it was really like, this is who I am, this is what I'm talking about, this is what I'm telling you that I can do and showing you that I can do. So in the beginning, just I would suggest, niching down because you become the expert in that niche.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this then, because that this made me think of that. Was there
Yeah.
ever a point, especially as you were niching down, where you're claiming you're like, I am the one for this, where it was like imposter syndrome, or like I always call it the human. Our humans like, but who am I to like stake my flag in the ground here? Did you ever navigate that?
I did actually. I did because I was like, you know what? I know I can do the things, right? But then as I got more and more clients, so I work with naturopathic providers right now, and I live in New Jersey. So out here, we don't have naturopathic doctors. It's not a big thing here. So all my clients are on the West Coast. So when I first started working with them, it was still healthcare, but it was a whole different realm. And even though I owned it, and I'm like, yeah, I can do all the things, I was like, can I relate? Like, can I really do all the things? And then eventually it became more of like the management. It wasn't just like the VA work. It was more like the managing and creating the systems for them. So I was like, can I do this? Right? Like I know I can do it, but it was just, the imposter syndrome definitely creeped in and I was like, well, maybe I can't, but I'm gonna do it anyway because that's
There
the
we
only way
go.
to learn, right? Is to get out there and do it. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to do it. Own it. Just you can do it. There's a million ways to figure things out. So yeah.
I
Yeah, you
love
just got to
that.
push past it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about at what place in your business were you like you did the first program, got started. What made you decide to look at other programs and eventually join the VA Leadership Academy?
Yeah, so so to back up a little bit, when I first started my business and I scaled really quickly, within 6 months I was on maternity leave with my new baby by my side, and I submitted my resignation because I hit 8K months within 6 months. And that was so fast for me. So I got there, and then as time went on, and I got more and more clients, right? I hired an assistant, but back then I had no idea how to navigate having like a subcontractor, or even growing an agency. So I ended up like letting her go. And then, you lose a couple clients, you gain a couple clients, right? It's the ebb and flow of business. And then I became just kind of stuck. I became stagnant, right? I was doing the things that I knew how to do, but in the program that I was in, that was it. There wasn't anything beyond that. So I was like, I want to figure out how to grow, right? I want to grow this big business. I want to free up more time for me. I want to make passive income. So again, back into the diving into what programs can I do? So I'm all about learning. I never stop learning. I'm always investing in programs and in courses because you can only get better. So then I found Vala, and I knew that I already had a VA business, but Vala offered so much more than just how to start and basically run your business. It was consistent learning, it was coaching, it was how to scale, right? And that's what I was looking to do. So I hopped on that, like the initial call, like I submitted, my information, hopped on the initial call, and the same day I signed up, and it's been great. It's helped me scale past that point of being stuck, which is where we are today.
Oh, I love
Very
that.
exciting.
Yeah. Well,
Very exciting.
let's talk about where are you today? Like what was that amazing message that you sent me earlier this week?
Oh my gosh. So I have been manifesting. So I work with private practice owners, but that again comes with a lot of patient communications and the admin work, and that's great. I love it all, but I wanted to start working with high-level holistic coaches. But again, this is where the imposter syndrome creeps in, right? Because they're not your typical healthcare provider. So I just landed my dream health coach client last week, which is so amazing. I'm so excited. We just started working together this week. But on top of that, I landed a second health coaching client. And then tomorrow, I actually have a call with, it's a one-time project, but she's actually a life and business coach to streamline the back end of things. So it's really just like once you get out there and like you claim it and you own it and like that momentum, like it makes momentum, right? So the more you get out there and you just put those vibes out, it really just kind of happens, with not without doing much because you got to do the groundwork, but they just keeps coming. So that
Absolutely.
is so
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah.
And like anchoring into the endpoint, you're like, this is like I've decided that I am this person and this is
Yeah.
the client I'm gonna serve. And then you made the moves. And I think it's something that trips people up because they're like, oh, like everything has to happen overnight and I have to like do all of these things. And no, it's like small daily actions that become habits in alignment with the identity and endpoint that you want.
Yep. Yep. 100%. 100%. I fully believe that. And we are at a point now in my business where I'm hiring, right? I'm hiring a VA for my business so I can offload some of that work that doesn't bring me joy to allow, free up my time so I can take on more of my dream clients. So it feels really good to be back in that spot, to be making 10K months, which is where I'm at now with these two additional clients. So that's really exciting. It's taken me quite a while to get here, but that's okay because this is where we are, right? It's not happening overnight. For some people, it's amazing. It does happen overnight, but for me, just the season of life that I've been in, and yeah, but we're here now. We're here now, so
Mm,
it's really exciting.
I
Really
love that.
exciting to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the interesting part, I think overnight success is such a farce. Like there's no such thing. For the people it looks like it's overnight. They're discounting like the years that they put in leading up to that. But
Yeah.
you know what also is funny, Chelsea? I bet if you look back on your journey now and you're like, wow, in the grand scheme of life, that happened so fast.
Oh,
10K
I do.
months,
I
so
do. I'm like,
fast.
how are we 4 years old? Like 4 years here already. Like my daughter's about to
Amazing.
turn 4, and she's home with me on spring break this week. And
Oh my gosh.
just for context, like last week, my older kids were on spring break, and this week, my younger one is on spring break. And there's no way that if I was working in a regular job, I would be able to take 2 weeks off. There's no way. Like that would be all my vacation time for the whole entire year. So just that alone is really priceless to be able to have that freedom to still serve my clients. They know my kids are home. It's like no problem. You get the work done when you can get the work done. I'm still present, still bringing in that income. I'm still living my life. So that's just hands
Mhm.
down, the best thing of all, honestly.
That's amazing. Yeah. On that note, too, so there's two things I'd love to dive in because it looks like in the chat we've got a lot of healthcare girlies in here. I love that.
Oh, yay!
I know.
So exciting.
So I'd love to hear you talk on what like if you have a background in the healthcare, what is it, what can you do in the virtual assistant industry? Any positioning tips, packaging tips, like anything related to business if you have a healthcare background. And then the other thing, you kind of touched on this, so maybe we go here first and then we'll dive into that, is like what does life look like as I don't even want to say fully booked because I also think that's a farce. Like there's no cap to how you can grow your virtual assistant business when you
Yeah.
build for scale, which is what you've done and like the pathway that you're really opening up now, which is so exciting. But let's just say, what does life look like as a virtual assistant with your initial income goal? Like day to day, how does it feel? All of the things and lessons learned too, because I'm sure you probably, I know you actually, we chatted about this, like when you first came into Volley, you're like, I'm working too much. There's no way
Yeah.
I can grow. I got my
I
max.
was. Yeah, I was working so much. Oh my gosh. And even in the beginning, like this is just a tip. And listen, you guys can all run your business however you want, but I was so determined to be the best at what I was doing. I was working like after my kids went to sleep, right? Like I was like, I had my working hours during the day, and then I still would log on and work at night just to prove that like I'm here, I'm doing the work. But now, I mean, a typical day for me is like I get up, I bring all my kids to school, they're all in school, I come back. I'll have my morning routine. I'll get a workout in, and then because all my clients are on the West Coast, it's really beneficial because I can get in, I can get everything ready and set up for them for when their day starts. But really, it's a lot of it is scheduling patients, it's uploading faxes, documents. It's like your typical admin stuff. But then I also have the side where I make sure the systems are still running, right? Like the reminders are going out, the SOPs are created, the payments are getting done. So I sit down in the morning and I go through all my clients basically, and I get all of that stuff done. And then I take some time in the middle of the day for lunch or run an errand or whatever I want to do. And then I sit down, I work a little bit, I go pick up my kids from school, and then I come back and then I just do a quick wrap up to make sure that everything is good for the next day. Again, just because a lot of it is patient related. And then that's it. And then if I want to work at night just to like, I don't know, make my day tomorrow a little bit easier, I can. But I typically don't do that anymore. I
Yeah.
don't do it anymore.
Yeah, you've done the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I definitely want to talk about healthcare too, but one of the things I hear this a lot, and support clients with this a lot, is once you're busy with client work, how have you, Chelsea, navigated still finding time and making it a priority to do your own business activities, to, post content, to show up for your brand? all of that? What are some of the things, like, how have you navigated that? Because I think it's something every VA bumps up against when they're booked out with clients.
Yeah, no, definitely. So for a while that is why I was stuck because I did not have the time really to dedicate to my business, right? I was in a good spot, but I wasn't in a great spot. And I will just preface this saying I don't like posting on social media. It is not my forte, but I do it because as business owners, we have to get out there, right? Like if people don't know we exist, then they can't hire us. So now, I mean, at nighttime, I typically is usually when I work on my business. Sometimes in the morning, if I have the time and I want to, but I find that at night it really helps me honestly decompress a little bit once the kids go to sleep. And I know everything is done for the day, and then I can kind of sit down and do my stuff. So that's where I am now. But before it was hard. It was
Yeah,
hard.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I
too
think
much
it's
work.
something. Yeah, I think we all go through that. And I'm the same
Yeah.
way. I do my content from the bubble bath at night and I love it. It's like feels like this kind of blank space where I can actually create instead of like calls or, all the
Yeah.
things. So, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is for the healthcare girlies.
Yes.
Tell us, like what would you say to someone who has a healthcare background that's thinking about being a VA or maybe they're in but they're like, "Oh, it hasn't clicked yet."
Oh, I mean, I would say do it. I mean, figure out what I would say, make a list of all the things that you're currently doing in your day to day, and then kind of like package that up, right? Like you know that you can do these things from a computer, right? Typically, you're front desk, maybe admin, maybe you're a medical assistant, but all the things that you are doing, you can do them from home, right? And then figure out what type of healthcare client you want to work with. Then you can really become the expert and you can market yourself directly to those clients. Get in Facebook, get in the groups of where they be hanging out, right? Add value. Like I'm the go-to person. Hi, like I know exactly what I'm talking about. I can answer all your questions. You can even like ask questions to kind of help get engagement going. But that's where I would say start. Just make a list of everything that you do and then figure out who you'd want to work with, like in the healthcare space, and then just get in the rooms of where they are and become known as the go-to person.
Love that. Just
Yeah.
dive right in.
That's what you got to do it. You got to do it.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
let's touch on Delena's question. She said, "Do you then have VAs do the daily work for companies after you set up the systems?"
Yeah, so when I had my previous VA, that's exactly what I did. I brought her on and she would take over like the scheduling, uploading the faxes, making sure that everybody's forms were done for like new patient appointments. So yeah, so once we get everything set up, then yes, the VA comes in and would do all of those things.
Amazing.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, so amazing. Okay, so we have Kate Wirtz coming up next, but before she comes on live, two things. Number one, what's your favorite part about the VA Leadership Academy? Number two, where can people find you? Should they send you a DM if they have questions or want to get in your world? What does that
Yeah,
look
so
like?
first of all, everything about Vala is absolutely amazing. Really, honestly, everything. But I think the community and like the support that you get, you know you're not alone. And there's a million people to go to with questions. So you're never by yourself doing it, which has been an absolute game changer because you're always like pushed to the next level. So that's that. Definitely get in Vala if you are on the fence. It's literally the best place to be. And secondly, yeah, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. That works. The.Chelsea Co. Or you can reach me on Facebook. It's a little harder. I'm Chelsea Johnson on there. There's a million Chelsea Johnsons, but I can drop it in the comments here. But yeah, I'm happy to connect with all of you.
Amazing. I'm trying to pull up your Instagram.
Oh, and I
Um,
didn't even I throw that in. Since becoming a VA, I have actually created a program to teach women who work in healthcare how to start their virtual assistant business, specifically in healthcare. So Val is great. It's amazing. I definitely suggest get in there. But my program is geared more towards just the healthcare world. So
Woo!
yeah,
Amazing. Okay, I put your Instagram in the chat too. So all of you guys go follow
awesome.
Chelsea, go connect with her.
Cool.
Obviously, we know you're amazing.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have Kate Wirtz. Let me make sure my beautiful handwriting for the schedule. Yes, Kate, come on up. So Kate is the founder and CEO of Virtually Kate and the Pinterest Atelier. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Kate helps women turn Pinterest into a scalable income stream. She left corporate, started her virtual assistant business from scratch in less than a year inside the VA Leadership Academy, and she has since built a six-figure business in less than a year. and she also helps others do the same without sacrificing their family life. Kate, hello,
Hey.
come on up.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Okay, by the way, Kate and I have a disclaimer. Kate's like, what if I swear on accident? I'm like, that's okay. So, just a heads up, if you have kids around, get the earmuffs out. Kate is hilarious.
I'm not exactly filtered. It's unfortunate for some. For some, they love it. This is why this room is great. Like you can be you here. So this is me.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yes. Yeah, and I'm super excited for this conversation too. Yeah, Naomi, probably all of us, like just earmuffs disclaimer. And it's just so funny because we're all moms with young children, so we're like, "Okay, heads up." Yeah, sorry, not sorry. No. Okay. So let's dive in. And one of the things too, I also want to add this before Kate and I dive in, because Kate and I were chatting this morning, and she was like, "Bree, like I've built really big and really fast, and it hasn't always been easy." And there's key through lines to this that we'll talk about. But like, I'm really excited for this conversation because this is the real. This is what it looks like if, Kate was just like, let's freaking go. Roll up the sleeves, like jumping off the deep end and find my wings while I'm like free falling.
Very messy. Very
Yes,
messy. And
yes.
I'm not
Which,
typically a messy person, so it was not. I'm like, should I own that that was the way it was, or should I
yes,
tell them like that it was all organized and great? Because like
no. Yes, but let's start at the beginning. So what made you decide to look into becoming a virtual assistant?
So I had worked in corporate for 10 years, right? I did all the things you're supposed to do. So I went to college, I got my bachelor's degree. You're supposed to do that, right? Like that's what you're taught and whatever. I did that, worked in corporate, did HR, communications, all the things I wanted to do. And moved abroad for a while. And I just was like, and then I came home and I was like, this is not what I want. I just don't want this. So I opened a boutique, like a real boutique in our little downtown. And I was like curating, home decor items and florals. And it was so fun. And, I got married and we had a baby. And being a mom was the only thing I ever really wanted to do. And I just was like, I don't want to be away from my family. I do not want to be gone all the time, right? And it's like you think about running your own business, and most of the people I've known in my entire life who have their own businesses are gone all the time and they work 24/7 and they're never able to be present with their family. And that was really how it was for me with my boutique. And I just didn't want that. So my husband's like, okay, I think we can do it. Like, you can close the store and we should be good on my income, whatever. So we tried that for a while and it was fine, right? Like it was fine, but the economy's not great and it wasn't great. This all happened right after. It was probably I opened during COVID, and I think 2 years after COVID, we decided I was going to stop the business. So we were home and everything was just fine. But I'm just not the person that being a mom was all I ever wanted, but I also wanted to do more things, right? And so I was like, there's no way that I can't do something else and make some money for us and still be the mom I want to be. So I'm looking all over online, I'm Googling and all the things. And like most people I've talked to in Vala have done this too, right? And Chelsea mentioned she did, network marketing. And I just like, it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. And I just didn't like the sales aspect. I just couldn't do that part. It just didn't sound great. And I was like, I want to be my own boss. I don't want to work for anybody. I don't want to have to ask for time off. I don't want to have to clock in. I don't have to tell somebody what I'm doing. If I want to take my son to the park, I want to do that. If I want to sit on the couch in my pajamas and work, I want to do that, right? Like I don't Bree dresses up all the time and she hates people that don't like the dress up people, but I'm the person that's like, I'm in my sweats, okay?
I
So
love it.
so I found Vala and it was March. I just hit my 1 year anniversary, guys.
Okay. Okay, so it's March. Oh my gosh, it's March.
Yeah. I signed up for Vala 1 year ago.
Wow.
And she had the St. Patrick's Name Your
Look
Luck
at
or whatever going on.
yeah.
So I found it. It was an ad. Never heard of Brie Kane before. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, I don't want to pay for it, whatever. So I did the Googling and it took me a while, but then I was like, no, I can do these things, right? I have to be able to do these things. So I found Vala I talked to my husband. He was a hard sell. He was like, if you have to pay for it, then it's not a job. Like, it's not a job. You can't, there's no way if you have to pay for this, this is a job. I was like, okay, whatever. So we did some communication back and forth, and we finally ended up on like, okay, if you think you can make the money back, let's try it. So I signed up and I think I was stagnant. I don't know what. I don't even think I opened the coursework until July. So I didn't even get into the academy. This is real. You wanted
Yes,
real? Here
this
it
is
is.
amazing.
I didn't get into the coursework until July. I just like messed around a little bit in the school platform, looked around, messed around with it. And then I was like, okay, well, this must be something, right? Like there's women in here that are making real money. I was you guys, like whoever's here that hasn't done it. Like I was literally like, this is not, you can't make money on this. And then in July, I was like, okay, I better take this serious because I paid money to do this, right? And then I started doing the coursework. So I hope I answered your question. Did I answer your question?
This is amazing. This is the Kate comedy show. Yes. I feel like we just
Why?
need we
Oh
need
my
to
God.
keep okay, so let's just this is like a whole narrative. Let's keep the
How I
story
got on
going.
Bella.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like what happens in July? So you decide, F it. I'm actually gonna like do this. And then what happened?
So yeah, so I got into that's how I got into Vala. You asked how I, what I did
Yeah,
before Vala.
yeah.
All right. So I worked in corporate. I was a normal person. Okay. So then I finally got into the coursework and I started putting my portfolio together and I started looking around on the platform and I attended all the calls, right? And I was like, these women are great. Naomi was already a BA, right? She was a baddie. She was already there and everyone was so inspiring and I was like gosh this I can do this. I'm a BA too, right? Like and I put myself out there with some clients. I applied a lot and someone was asking how do you find clients, right? So I was a typical corporate mindset. I applied on Indeed, I applied on all the job boards, and I was getting nothing. I was getting no hits, no return emails, no nothing. And I was like, am I that like old or am I that like out of the workforce, right? Like there is this real? So I just kept going and I got into school for the support and then Bree's agency, Icon and Lightning, there were roles there and I was like, I'm going to apply to these, right? So I did. And I simultaneously applied to another agency role outside of Vala. It was for another VA agency that hires. And these were amounts that were like hourly pay that I was like not thrilled about, but I was like, I have to start somewhere. And so this is like something, take this, right, ladies? Like you you don't have to settle. I'm not saying settle, but if this is something that you're struggling with, like feeling like you might not have the skill set or whatever, you definitely do. But once you get one client, and I think Chelsea said this too, they just start coming, right? Like they just start rolling in. So don't be afraid to take something, even if it doesn't feel perfect, or even if it's not exactly what you want as your end goal, because they come. They come. And you can sift through them once you get going. So I took these $25 an hour clients, and I think the one was $27 an hour, which was fine. Like it was great. And the dream client was through Icon and Lightning, and she actually is what catapulted me into my niche, which is Pinterest. I never knew you could make money doing that. And I started managing her Pinterest profile by request of her. And then I was like, okay, I love this. This is fun. Why don't I do this? Does anyone else do this? And I kind of looked around in the school platform and I looked around and like not very many people were doing it. And I was like, okay, I'll do this. This is fun. And so now I do Pinterest. That's it.
I love that. And for those of you who are obviously listening, through line here, Chelsea narrowed her niche once she got experience and kind of figured out what she was doing. Same with Kate.
Yeah.
Okay, so so I want to talk about where you're at now, what business looks like now, and then I want to reverse and let's talk about that messy middle and some of the things that you've had to learn and bump up against. And I mean, those of you who are listening, is like you get to essentially collapse trial and error by learning from these amazing women who've done it really fast. And, they've basically, I mean, Kate will be the first one to say, like, it hasn't always been beautiful, but I mean, you just freaking went for it. and it's amazing what you've built. So let's talk about your business now, and then we'll go back. And also, you guys drop your questions in the chat for Kate too.
So you want me to talk about what my business looks like now or the
Yeah.
messy middle? Or
No,
we're gonna
let's start with now, and then we'll
Okay.
go backwards. Talk about how you
You
got
know
there.
what? So my business now is thriving. I just a week or two ago realized that I make six figures annually, and it was like, what? This is amazing. And I surpassed my corporate income. So I thought I was making great money. I was at 80K a year. And I mean, that's great money, right? And my husband makes really good money. I out earn him, and he's happy to say that. He loves that for me. He loves that for him. Like he's proud of me. And so if anyone can do this, like you can, because I'm normal. I had laundry on the table behind me. Like I am not special. And my business is thriving. So I have four amazing core clients, and they are all different kind of levels as far as income, but two of them are like main core clients that are the bread and butter of my monthly money, and then the other two are kind of entry level, and they will hopefully grow as their strategy kind of increases and they're like, oh yes, this is doing something for my business, I love this, let's do more, 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 more. I have three team members. This is insane. I have a VA through Breeze agency that I just hired. She's been with me for a month or 2 months, maybe 2 months now.
Oh my gosh, so
So
amazing.
it's been trial and error with team. I hired some team like earlier on when things were messy, and maybe things were not in place as they should have been. And now we have like totally up leveled, and my team is amazing. I have a business manager who's doing my ops. She runs the things in the background for me. And I have someone who is a Pinterest VA, and she is doing my execution. She started as an intern, so I have internships, and then she's going to be a contractor because she's doing great. And another contractor who's very part-time, and she does a lot of the admin stuff for me for another client that I still do a little bit that's not Pinterest, but I'm possibly getting away from that. We'll see. So my business is thriving. It's amazing. I love it.
Oh my gosh, so amazing. Okay. Um, let's talk about kind of the messy middle. I would say some of the lessons you've learned, things that you've bumped up against. I know okay, great question from Amanda. We'll talk about that. Um, I think one of the things for you and what makes you so good at what you do is that you have very high standards, very high expectations, and it's like you like things ship shape and organized. And then the truth of entrepreneurship, especially when you're in the build phase, but I would argue always, because we're constantly evolving and expanding, is it's freaking messy when you're just like, I'm gonna roll my sleeves up and go for it and figure it out as I go. And so I know that's one thing I'd love for you to touch on, but anything else that comes to mind where you're just like, whoo, okay, like lesson learned.
So basically, I always thought I mean, I'm super type A, okay? Like, I'm funny and whatever. I think I'm funny. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
funny.
you're funny.
It's like that has never changed. And starting a business like this, I've started a business before, but starting a business like this, where you kind of have to have a little bit of trust in yourself, and you have to know that you might not have it all set up. Like it's not going to be perfect, and you have to take it as it comes, was really hard for me. So if you're someone like that, know that you can get through that if you trust yourself a little bit. Because like I went to Bree daily and was like, I don't know how this is going to work. Like I have these two clients that are coming to me that are extremely high level, high maintenance. I want to take them, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. Like I don't have enough hours in the day. I don't have team. It's going to be really messy. And she's like, take them, sign them, take them, and we'll figure it out once you get them. So like that's really how I catapulted, and we did it that way. And I built team as I went, and that was really scary. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, at first I worked long hours. I was working after naps, I was working during naps, I was working at night, all the things, okay? And like, so don't let anyone say that you don't have to work hard at the beginning. But if you do that, like now I'm finally breathing, right? Like I would say I've actually been really working at this business 6 months maybe. Okay. And I'm through that hard phase and I'm feeling like a CEO. And I'm like, okay, like I have six figures in 6 months. I have three people on my team. And now I'm off every night and every weekend. And I work 9 to 2. Like it's great. So you can definitely do it. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be messy at first.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me mute that.
Oh,
Mute Kelly. This is amazing, Kate. Here we go. There we go. Okay, all good.
yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing. Um, okay. What about, I think, because I know there's a lot of people here who are earlier in their VA business. And, I think one of the things that makes our world unique, like the VA Leadership Academy, how I think, how I support all of you in VALA, is that I'm really passionate about making sure virtual assistants don't build a job for themselves. I think that's a really easy trap, and it's the way that most of the industry teaches virtual assistants to build their jobs. Go book the one-to-one clients, and then suddenly you realize you're completely capped on time, and the only way to grow is if you want to take on more clients, but you're already working as much as you possibly can. Screw that. We are all, women, moms, we have lives. Like, none of us want to be behind our computers for 80 hours a week. And so I want to touch on that really quickly, and we're almost at time too. But what, like, how did you almost have to unravel the corporate and employee mindset and think differently about building your business?
Yeah, and so like I was in that trap. I really was. And I had to learn how to scale. And so like that was something we kind of mentioned you mentioned at the beginning, and this is so important. So you have to let go. And I'm a perfectionist. I run a tight ship. I let people go that I had originally when I wasn't getting what I asked them for, right? And then I had to set the standard. So I learned as a leader, I was not leading the team the way that I needed to for them to understand the expectations. So I was doing the work instead. And that's where like you need to take that as like I need to have the mindset of I need to make them understand what I want if I want them to be able to do it the way I want it done. And then when they do, I don't have to do it. And then you're not at your computer 80 hours a day. And in corporate, I don't know, like I guess it's almost just like I can do it better myself, so I'll just do it.
Mhm.
But then that was hard for me. So it's just like, yes, and Megan, like SOPs. I didn't have SOPs at the beginning, and Naomi's like the queen of this, so she can talk more on this probably. But if you don't have SOPs, standard operating procedure, for those of you who may not know what that is, I don't know if you know what that is, but like, how are they going to know what you want? You can tell them, okay, go create a Pinterest pin, but like, how does someone know what that means? If you like certain clients have certain standards, right? And that stuff was all coming back to me. And I was like, no, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. I can't use this. And then I'm doing it and paying someone else to do it wrong. But putting that stuff in place was exactly what I needed to scale. And once I did that, they were able to, produce so much more, so quick, so much quicker. And then I wasn't tied to my desk. So scaling is important. You need to be able to get away from the fact that I'm doing all the work myself. So the one-on-one clients, like you can have those and you can absolutely run a VA business and do VA work if that's what you want to do. But if you're looking to scale, you're going to have to outsource some of those things and have VAs yourself, right? So hopefully that's kind of touch on that.
Hmm. Yeah, okay, so good. Okay, let's touch on, was it Amanda? Yeah, Amanda. Building out your packages. And then Cassidy also asked a really good question. We have like 2 minutes and
Okay.
then Naomi's coming up, but we'll do rapid fire question answer.
So as the owner, so okay, basically I was doing the stuff and then I was like, I don't have time for all this and I want to scale. I want more clients, I want more money, I want, all the things. So that's when I decided I have to hire somebody. So the first person I hired to actually get everything in line was a back end ops manager. So she runs kind of all my business stuff in the back end and handles then my Pinterest VA. So we have these clients need these things, and this is the stuff my Pinterest VA does for me. And I'm now doing the strategy, right? So she's producing the actual work for the client, and I'm doing the strategy and telling her what I need her to do. So you will start out doing all the client work because you need to know what you expect of your team, and you're going to create those SOPs for them, and the workflows, and then you can hire and have that stuff kind of outsourced. And then what was the next question? Job listings. Okay, the paying enough. I think I kind of touched on this a little bit. I don't know, Jessica, if you have another job, but I know Chelsea said that she was working as a VA while she was doing her other job, right? So, like, that may be something you have to do for a while because take something. If there's a job offer, or if there's something you're like, I can do this, but it's not what I need as far as pay, like work at nap time, work after dinner, work during bath, like work when you can, because as a VA, you can work whenever you want. Unless they have set hours on there, like I need you 9 to 5 as an office job, I work anytime I want. And my VAs that work for me, I give them a deadline. Okay, I need 25 pins by this Friday. They work whenever they want. They don't clock in. They don't tell me that they're online. They just deliver it to me by this date. So you may have to take something that's a little bit less, but I promise you, if you do that, you're going to start seeing more clients come in, and you're also going to have that back end experience that you can say, okay, I've already done this, so I'm ready for the next thing that maybe pays a little bit better.
Yeah. And I think, it's a perfect example, Kate, of when you're like, okay, I'm going to get serious about my VA business.
Mhm.
You took the Icon and Lightning role through my agency, $27 an hour, which for agency roles, that's actually much higher than normal agencies.
Like nothing to sniff at, really, honestly, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a great, but obviously, I know even from the beginning, and all of us here, right? All of you guys are like, I want to earn far more than that. And you can, but you through that role, which wasn't your ideal, role or pay or anything, you then the client trained you on
yeah.
Pinterest. And that
Mhm.
was what grew your entire, it's like, so if you had have said, no, I'm too good for that, it's not good enough. I mean, you might not, like, you would because you're you, but like you wouldn't be here in the same context.
And those of you that are like, I don't know what I want my niche to be, I had no clue. I just started, and as like it was a general VA position. It was doing blogs for her. It was doing her Pinterest. It was doing, it was doing Flowdesk, stuff. It was all kinds of back end admin. And then I figured out what I was going to do. So you guys like may have to do that, or should probably do that. And that will give you kind of your catapult into your niche if that is kind of where you're headed. And posting on social media, girl, you need to go follow me on Instagram because Pinterest is where it's at. Yes, you need to post on social media. I'm not going to say no to that because we all do it, but get on Pinterest. Go to
You don't
Pinterest.
have to dance for the algorithm.
No.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so freaking good. Okay.
Yes, I use AI.
I think we all use AI.
We
AI
all
is
have. You
fabulous.
need to use it. If you're not using it, you need to learn it.
Yeah. And one of the things too, if you're considering Vala, we actually have a whole AI lab in Vala where we teach you not just how to use ChatGPT, because most people just use it as like a fast Google, but we teach you how to do agentic AI, which is the stuff, it's crazy. Like the one that's dropping in this week, it's like blowing my mind with what I'm doing for my business. So, and that's something too, like agentic AI, you can use that as services. You can make so much money because not many VAs are offering that yet. Dot dot dot. Okay, really quick. What has been your favorite part about Vala? And what's the best way for people to connect with you? And then Naomi's coming up next.
Sorry, Naomi. My favorite part about Vala has been the community. So by far, that's one of the perks. You guys, like we all kind of spitball with each other. The calls that we have regularly are so supportive. The school community is amazing. When you don't know how to do something, you ask and you get an answer. It's great. You don't get that with a lot of other kind of VA coursework. And then you guys can find me on Instagram. I think Bree just threw that in the chat. And I also have a separate Pinterest Academy. So if you're interested in that, please come check it out and you can learn all the things about Pinterest and growing your business with Pinterest. So it was great to be here. And sorry, Naomi.
So fun. Yay. Thank you, Kate. Oh my gosh. Chelsea's amazing. Kate's amazing. The queen, Naomi, is up. All right, Naomi, come on up. And Naomi is the founder and CEO of Desert Lux Creative. She supports women founders scaling to multi 6 and 7 figures through high level marketing and operations. And in just 2 years, she grew from $17 an hour working at her children's school to 140K cash revenue while building her business that allows her to be home with her two daughters and put them first. So, Naomi, come on up.
Hey,
Ah, hello. How are you?
so good. And I just want to acknowledge, like, Kate, take up the space, girl. Like, that's why we're here. Just take it up.
Yes.
So never apologize. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Where do you want me to dive in?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I think let's go back. And by the way, you guys, same with all the other speakers, put your questions in the chat for Naomi. Naomi, let's go back to when you were working at your daughter's school for $17 an hour. What made you decide to consider the virtual assistant industry and then say, freaking A, let's go?
So my story is kind of funny because when I talk to people, they're like, man, you really have done everything. And I'm like, have I though? But I'm like, yeah, I kind of have. So I have no background in anything administrative, anything marketing related. My degree is actually culinary arts, so I'm a chef by trade. And that's what I did for basically all growing up. My mom was always cooking something in the kitchen. I fell in love with food at a really young age. I'm pretty sure I started asking for cookbooks when I was like 7 and was baking cakes and cupcakes and cookies and all the things like before the age of 10 without any supervision. Like it was just something I was immediately passionate about and I thought I was going to be doing it my whole life. Simultaneously, I also knew I always wanted to be a mom. So when I met my husband in 2014, and we knew like we wanted to eventually get married and start a family, I started thinking really seriously about what that looked like in the future. And it wasn't until I had my first daughter in 2018, I just really like had this pull to do something different. And at that time, I was working as a manager. I was working at Starbucks, and I had worked there for a couple years to go back and get my bachelor's degree in nutrition. So again, food related, just food science, not food. Um, and I thought that I was going to be like a health and wellness coach, and I was going to start my own online business and basically do what most of us serve clients for, right? And so I started looking into online work and just was always looking to create. Upon doing that, I actually found Beachbody. So if you all know Beachbody or Body or whatever they call it now, and found the network marketing industry similar to Chelsea. And I was one of those people that had success. I wasn't making crazy amounts of money, but I was making enough money to leave my full-time job and be home with my daughter. And that was enough for me. So I started doing that. And along the way, actually, when I worked with Beachbody, one of my mentors had a VA. And I always remember thinking, like, what a cool job. Like, what a cool job that you get to create graphics for somebody. And like, how creative and fun would that be? But never once thought to myself that was going to be like something that I would do. So fast forward, pandemic hit, like so many life changes happened. And one of the things that I remember is when I ended up leaving my job and being home like full time and doing network marketing was being like, I just feel like something is missing. There was this disconnect. And I chalked it up to the pandemic for about a year of like, it's just like the world's shut down. You can't see people regularly. Like it just felt weird. But then I started to realize I feel disconnected from my purpose. I feel disconnected from connection with humans in a way that I felt like I really needed, that I missed from being a service provider in the food service industry. And so started looking at hospitality jobs. I started looking at different, jobs in the public. And as I was doing that, my 4-year-old, I was like, she just needs more than what I can offer her at home with raising a baby and the way that she was learning and taking on to things. So I went and toured a preschool and started talking to the lady at the preschool, and she actually offered me a job on the spot. So that's how I got the job at the preschool. And I remember thinking, like, man, $17 an hour, that is like, look, I don't even remember the last time remember making that little. But at the same time, they were like, your childcare is going to be included. So that was a win for us. I could bring both the girls to work with me, and it got me out of the house and really connecting with people. And it was 3 or 4 weeks after I started there, the administrative assistant who she had hired, she had to let her go. And I had been hired on as a preschool teacher teaching 2-year-olds. So I went from managing my 4 and 1-year-old to taking on and taking care of like everyone else's 12 2-year-olds. And I was like, I don't think I'm cut out for this. So I ended up saying yes to the admin job. And I had never done anything administrative related. And I remember starting that and being like, maybe there is something to this. And Black Friday of 2023, I had worked there for almost a year at that point. I started in January because it was a brand new preschool that had just opened. And I remember seeing Bree's ad also. And so, I mean, it was like within an hour of like submitting the form and chatting back and forth and just being like, you know what? I feel like there's just a point that you get to in your life where it's like, you can say yes and just go all in on yourself on something that's big and different and bold and scary. And maybe it's going and applying for the degree program that you want. Maybe it's going and applying for your dream job at a corporate facility. Like maybe it is going and starting the business or investing in a coach or a program to do what you want to actually do versus what you're doing right now. Like whatever that is, there's a point you hit where you're like, I'm not willing to remain in the same place that I am now. I know that if I stay here, nothing's going to change. And so at what point do you say yes to yourself? And so I remember thinking like, I have to say yes to me and I have to trust myself enough to know that I can invest in me and that's safe because no matter what happens, even if this doesn't work out, I can still figure it out, right? And so I was like, I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid. I said yes. And I was like, okay, how am I gonna make this happen? Like, it was like the weird, I'm on a high from like saying yes to this thing that's gonna be epic. And then right after, I'm like, oh shit, I actually have to show up and do the things. And I remember being like, how am I gonna do this? I work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Like, I'm responsible for getting my girls up, getting them out the door, getting us on time to school. Like, being there at that time I was working 8 to 2:30 Monday through Fridays and I'm like when am I going to have time for this? And I think there's this part of your brain that goes, okay, if you want this to work you have to make the time and find a way. And so that's what I did. I woke up at 5 a.m. every single day and I would apply for 5 to 10 roles on the job board. And if there wasn't 5 to 10 roles to apply for on the job board, I would be on Upwork or I would be on LinkedIn or I would be looking for other jobs. And much like to what Kate said, I realized really quickly that I was having this like, what, that $20 an hour, $25 an hour, like, no, I'd rather apply for the $30 and $40 an hour jobs. But then I was like, a lot of these are better than 17 an hour, and even after paying taxes, like I'm still going to break even, right? So I just needed to get the experience. And I remember saying to Brie, I'm like, I just need to get people on the phone because I know that if I get people on the phone, that I can speak to the person and speak to my strengths and the skills that I have are going to sell themselves. And so that's what I did. And within 6 weeks, I think it was 6 weeks, I had landed enough clients to replace my income at the preschool and then put in my notice. So I ended up working there for another I think it was like 4 to 6 weeks because they needed me and had to find a replacement. And then I left and I've been working from home since February of 2024 and it's amazing and I just love it.
I can't believe it's been that
2 years.
long.
I know.
It's
I'm like, wait,
insane.
is that
Oh my
right?
gosh. It's so beautiful too. And honestly, one of my favorite parts is just the friendships that I'm like, we work together, like you're a private client and we're friends. Like we hang out,
Yeah.
all of you guys. I'm like, I just love I love you guys. But it's so beautiful. It's just like you never know by stepping in the room what's gonna happen, who you're gonna meet, what doors will open, all of that. So yeah, okay, let's talk about what does your business look like now? And then we'll kind of back up to the middle part, tips that you have. And obviously you guys keep dropping questions in the chat for Naomi and we'll touch on those too.
Yeah, yeah. So now I have agency and team. I have one-to-one clients as well. And really my focus lately has been, I'm gonna drop a bomb. I haven't
She's gonna
announced this
tell
public.
everybody.
I haven't announced this publicly, but I am pregnant again. So I have a almost 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. And then we just found out, about a month ago that we are having a baby. So I'm very excited. And also, it's definitely shifting me into a new season, right? Because my youngest is going to be 5 in September. So by the time this baby comes, she'll be 5. And I'm like, we're basically entering like both our kids of school age, like a whole new chapter of quote unquote more freedom in different ways. And so I think the it's exciting because it's what we wanted and we're like overjoyed about it. And it's going to shift drastically how I have to look at my business and scalability. And so right now I've really been in this season of how am I going to shift the small things that I feel on a daily basis and like clock those of this is still requiring a lot of me and this is still requiring so much of my time in a way that I can build my business and structure everything to come November, feel really excited and feel confident going on my leave, taking as much time as I want to have spaciousness, like coming back and being able to work on the things that I want to when I can and not feel like I have to be on all the time and not feel like I have to do things a certain way, but rather the way that I actually want to. So I'm really excited because I think one of the things that I've allowed myself to do really well the whole journey, and we can kind of talk about the messy middle, but the whole journey that I've had over the last almost 2.5 years has been giving myself permission to pivot anytime I want and anytime it's needed and not feel guilty about that. Not feel guilty about having quote unquote failed at trying something new, not let myself feel like shameful about, oh, I tried this and it didn't work out. Like I've just continued to allow myself the grace and the spaciousness to go try the thing and like go fully all in on it and try the thing. And if I decide it's not for me, like that's okay because whose life is this? It's mine. It's no one else's, right? So I think if you take anything away from this, like allowing yourself to pivot and do the messy things and be a little messy with it, like that is the way to get where you want to be. It's not going to be perfect the whole way.
So good. I think that's the through line. And I think, we were talking about with Kate and Chelsea of kind of unraveling like the corporate mindset, the societal mindset. And like the truth is the education system that we all grew up in is designed to create employees. It's designed, for us to be shepherds. And I think it's starting to change, but how we grew up. And so it really does like to decide to go in on entrepreneurship means that you do have to rewire the way you think, the way you move, the way you lead, normalize that it's going to feel uncomfortable and you're going to be like, what the heck am I doing? But also I think that's value. And why don't you touch on that of like being in a space where you have the steps in the pathway and the community. So it creates safety within the unknown where you're like, wait, but there's a path to follow. There's people alongside me, there's support, all of that. Can you talk about how that made a difference in your business journey of getting you, from $17 an hour at your school to 140K annual revenue? Insane.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have to give a shout out to Michaela, who's one of our OG Vala students. She was actually my first client that I ever took. So she had started her agency as I was coming into Vala, and she was the first person to hire me. And I remember asking her, like, do I have your permission to like pick your brain too, since we're going to be chatting pretty regularly? And she was like, heck yes. And I'm like, how freaking breath of fresh air is it when you come into a space where not just like in general, like just people, but like women specifically, because I think as a society, women tend to have this culture of competitiveness, and I get it. And I've always craved something different in terms of like the female community that I immerse myself in. And I think it's why I've, let go of a lot of friendships over the years because I'm just not that way. And I never have been. I always want to see my people win. And so when I came into this space, I remember thinking like, yes, like these are my people. Like these are people that want to see me win. And these are people who are willing to help me, even though I am somebody who they could choose to view as competition, right? Like you have no business hiring me and then teaching me all the things to what me go and leave and work for myself instead of you. Like that's just a stepping stone for me. And so somebody could choose to view it as that. But the fact that she was willing to view it as a way to help mentor me and coach me and also have support from somebody really great who could work for her for a certain length of time and then be able to bless and release whatever I choose to do with my future, like that was so beautiful to me. And I think for me, one of the things that I thought really deeply about when I was making the decision to come into this space was like, I could choose to go figure this out on my own. I could go choose to spend time on Google and research all the ins and outs and spend extra time on job boards and do all the things, right? And I had so many questions about like very simple stuff. And I realized that if I was going to actually replace my $17 an hour income, that was going to take a little bit of risk in terms of like investing in something because I didn't have a lot of extra time to go vet job boards. I didn't have a lot of extra time to do all the things that it required of me, but I did have the time to go through every day 1 to 2 modules. And while I built out my portfolio, be like, okay, I can choose how many jobs I can apply for every day. And it was more for me, and maybe this is some of you, but like being able to know clearly what I needed to do in a proven way that people had already done, that was working, that had a system and rhythm to it, that was like, okay, I can just know and check boxes and then move on with my day and just trust that the work that I'm doing each day is going to slowly compound and build momentum for me. And like, that was everything to me. To me, that was the value in itself, right? It was like, I have confidence knowing that somebody has used this before and seen great success with it. And if they can do it, I can do it too. So that was huge for me. And then even just speaking to like the coaching and the atmosphere that we have, like I do social media coaching because when I started my business, I was a social media manager for the first year. And before I pivoted to OBM, that was all I did. And I quickly realized everyone that was hiring me for social media was growing on social media, but there were gaps. And I was like, what is the gap here? Why aren't they seeing conversions? And I realized it was a lot of their systems. And so that's when I started diving deep into teaching and training myself in that. And I'm like, there's not ever going to be an ROI for these humans if they don't have the things connected together, right? So that's been such a big part of my journey and how I pivoted. But truly being able to come on those social media calls and help support other women in this community. Like, if you're on my calls ever, I don't just teach on social media. If somebody has a question that's off topic, like, please bring it because it's not just about creating the content. Like, if there's a disconnect, this last month when I had the call, there was only one other girl on the call for the first half of the call. And we ended up talking about why, like, her fear behind applying for jobs. And I'm like, let's dig deep into that. So there's like real life coaching that's happening. And it's like, we care about the people that come into this space. Like, why? Because we were you too, like I want to see the people in this community win. I crave the ability to pour back into you guys because it's like that right there. Like, if we can change one life, that is anything and everything that I could ask for because that's all I wanted for myself, right? So I think it's huge.
That's amazing. Yeah. And it's like change one life, but also our children's lives and their children's
Well, and
lives.
it's
Like,
such a ripple
oh my
effect,
gosh.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can hear the collective question. So you became your like marketing, branding, operations, funnels. Now, you said at the beginning that you hadn't done official marketing or branding before. You hadn't done official admin, which is the same. Like my first VA role, I was her director of ops, and I'm like, I've never had an ops role before, but I've done all these amazing things in my career. So can you talk about that? Because I can hear the woman in here thinking is like, but how do you become the expert in something you've never had a job title before, or maybe you've never even done it professionally? Can you touch on that?
Okay, I don't remember if Chelsea or Kate said this. I think it was Chelsea, but somebody earlier said, this is what I did and this was what worked for me, so take what you want, leave the rest kind of thing. Like I'm gonna leave a disclaimer here because I know that I'm not
Disclaimer.
I'm definitely not normal in terms of how I've functioned in that realm. I've always continued to be a student for myself. And I'm somebody who has always said if I could have a degree in everything, I would, because I just love to learn and I love to be a student. But I'm definitely somebody who, like, I will be putting my kids to bed and have an AirPod in one ear because they don't really talk to me when they're going to bed. And I'm like, but they want cuddles and they want me to lay with them. And I'm the mom that's like, I want them to feel that safety. And so if I have to lay with my kiddos for 30 minutes while they fall asleep, sure, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And so if I'm in there for 30 minutes, I might as well be productive and listen to a podcast or listen to an audiobook. And like, I've just allowed myself to continue to find the pockets of when I can do that. Whether it's never in the car, let's be honest. I can't listen to anything in the car because my kiddos are always screaming and want music, right? But like, while I'm doing dishes, if the kids are calm and doing something, like I'll put in my AirPods, I'll listen to a training. If I'm putting them to bed, I'm listening to a training. If I'm in the shower and for some reason my husband has them elsewhere, like I'll put in something. We have a speaker in our shower. I'll put on something and listen to it while I shower. Like, I am literally always letting myself learn and teaching myself. And if I'm working on client work, I usually have an audiobook on. Like, I want to continue to learn and grow. And it's not always what you think, right? It's not just some like, I don't, this is going to sound really, really rude. I love personal development, but it's not just fluffy personal development work either, right? Sometimes it's the unglamorous stuff. It's like, I was on YouTube the other day looking up like more brand psychology free resources because I want to hone my skills in color psychology, brand psychology, and dive deeper into that. Like, there are so many like slight things that you can learn that can make all the difference for becoming the expert. And so I've just continued to find free, low ticket, whatever kind of resources and immerse myself in them for the things that I want to specialize in. And it's just continued to pay off, right? Because it's like if you stay stagnant, then of course your business is going to, but if you continue to teach yourself and learn and grow and be a student and be open-minded to like what the universe or God or source or whoever you believe in has to offer you, like that's everything.
Mm. I'm like, can we mic drop that? So good. And you know what? Like I put in the chat, success leaves clues. I'm the same way. Constantly just curious, learning, growing, expanding, following where I'm led, and like, yes, yes, yes to that. Okay, so Tanya Smith is up next. I am so freaking excited for Tanya to come up. She spoke at our VFS virtual last year, and I think everyone was in tears listening to her, and she has a lot of updates since then too. But before we go to Tanya, I want to hear you touch on Cassidy's question and reflection, Naomi. So Cassidy says, I feel like I'm not really a sales type of person, so it makes me nervous having to sell myself to a client to get the job. I think all of us can agree
Yeah.
and have felt that. So let's hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah. So I think there's two parts to this. Number one, I think there's the part of it that's like, if I could give you any word of encouragement on sales calls or on, discovery calls with clients, you're just as much needing them to sell themselves to you, right? So when you shift your mindset on that of like, you get to say no if you don't want this job, and you get to come and show up and interview this person and decide like, actually, maybe this isn't for me. That gives back power, right? It's like if you walk into it knowing that you're on level playing fields of like, yes, you want this person to pay you, of course, but also you're valuable and you own that and you know that you're worthy of this job that they have to offer, then it releases some of that pressure. But then also it's skill of communication, having the conversation, right? So if you're getting on a call with somebody and you're nervous about sales, why? What are the feelings in your body that are coming up for you? What are the things that you're continuing to feel as you get on these calls of like, okay, I get nervous when I get on the call, but then as I start talking, I'm fine. Okay, well, that's natural nerves, right? We all get those. I still get those because it's not a person I've met before. It's new. It's a new experience. It's normal to be a little bit jittery, right? But if you're going into these calls and you're, stumbling on your words, well, maybe you need to do some work around communication skills. Maybe you need to do some work about, learning how to sell yourself, learning how to, whatever it is for you, right? And so it's just opportunity. That's the way that I look at it, is like it's an opportunity to say, okay, this is a place that I can improve. And maybe that's something you need practice with. Maybe you need, in this community, there's so many different women who have gone through this, right? So it's like maybe you make a post in school and say like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Has anyone else overcome this? Or is anyone going through this as well? Would you guys be open to hopping on like a session together and just mock interviewing each other? Like practice the skills. And if you continue to practice the skills, it's going to release a lot of that pressure when the time comes. And again, there's always normal jitters. So I don't think those ever go away entirely. But I think you learn to better speak to the strengths and skills that you have and show up with the confidence that like, yes, I can do what's being asked of me in this role. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's so good. I think one of the things too that I've seen, which is why, so like internships, for example, because sometimes like new VAs, you're like, I've never done this before. So how do I say I can do this if I've never done it? So we have like in Vala, for example, we have an internship board where you can go literally do projects get the experience, get a testimonial, get on the calls, and you're like, yeah, I have done this before. Same with our certification, where we, teach you 11 different technical skills, how to do email marketing, funnel, and you get like feedback and hand holding through the process. And so I think that's some of it too, Cassidy, is whether in Vala or not, is can you take on the projects for your own business or friends and, like, hey, can I build you an email sequence? Hey, can I create your content for a week? Because then you can go to that prospective client and you're like, yeah, I have done this. You want to go look at this IG page? I just did the content for it. And I think that
Yep.
helps too, because sometimes it's like the space between where you want to go and where you are. And if you can fill that space on your own, it gives you kind of a leg to stand on, if you will.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Before we go to Tanya, what is the best way for people to reach out to you, to get in your world, all of that good stuff, Naomi? And I'm gonna put your
Yeah.
IG
So
in.
my Instagram is Desert Lux Creative. And yeah, you're welcome to reach out either there or in school if you're in the school community. And I would love to chat more with any of you. And again, I'm definitely a person that's like an open book. So that's not a come hire me, like come talk to me. Like let's chat. Let's talk about all of the things that you're excited about in your world and your business. I just like to connect and get to know people. So
I love that. And Naomi's working on, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna pitch for you.
do it.
If you guys need help with your branding, Naomi is putting together a really fun, low ticket like experience where she's gonna not just like she can do your branding for you, but she's actually gonna create like a way for you to learn how to brand like she does with templates. And so that's coming out really, really soon. It's kind of a no-brainer, like just get it. Like it's not gonna break the bank. And it's gonna blow your mind. Because I mean that's one of the things too that I think has been fun to watch of your journey. You just decided you're a branding expert and you just started from day one. And I mean, you guys, Naomi has designed for the biggest brands in the industry. Like their banners, their sales pages, Naomi and her team did them. So, anyways, that's my pitch for you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Bree.
you're amazing. Okay. Oh, so good. Thank you, Naomi and Tanya. Come on up, Tanya. So, Tanya is the founder of Virtually Inspired Assist. She helps women streamline sustainable businesses through strong systems and foundations and operations. And she has such an amazing story, you guys. I'm really excited for you to hear her story because she has rebuilt her life from the ground up. She's navigated some of the most unimaginable things, and she basically, and she'll share more, but she has rewritten her family's legacy and essentially broken like generational, I don't know, Tanya, what did you call them? Like curses? Like she's literally changed the trajectory of her life and her family's life. Tanya,
Hello.
hello.
Hey guys, I have missed all of you all. I'm so excited to be here. Didn't expect to be here a year from now, but I have so much that I can share, that I can update. Just the energy is completely different from a year ago to now, like not even the same, not the same person, not the same business. And that's the neat thing about this, that we all get a starting story and then we all get to come back and we get to see the different pictures through the years. And that is one of the biggest things. So like I said, I started out where many of you guys are, overwhelmed, overworked, and wondering, what do I do? How do I change my life? I think we all have the thought at some point, I'm made for more, or I want to do more. I want to better myself. I want to better my life. But then we sit there stuck for so long of how do we even get there? What do we even do? So that's where I was at. I was a project manager. I had done the corporate world. I had started with very little education, worked my way up all the way to the top. I became a project manager for a big company. I was working 60 plus hours. I was making $80,000 a year, whatever it was. It was a lot. And I knew even then that I was putting into somebody else's business, but there was more meant for me. So a little quick snippet, I had some trauma from childhood, trauma from different things in my adult life. I'd finally decided I was going to get married and let somebody in, got married, and it lasted 3 months. But during that 3 months, I was like, I don't have to be my sole provider. I can take this course, I can do this, and then I can grow my family in the ways that I want to do. I can do more, I can do this. So I was working full time, just got married, and took a chance on the VALA program. And what I did not know, in just 3 months, things were going to fall apart. Things were going to completely fall apart. So I'd taken a new job. I had taken like a $40,000 pay cut to do it. I went ahead and said yes to VALA. I was learning skills. And then next thing you know, I'm getting a divorce 3 to 4 months in. And everything came down in shambles. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew it was sink or swim. Like I was either going to fail again and not have anything for my kids, not have anything for me. I was going to go back to corporate world, working 60, 70 hours a week with a high stressful job, or I was going to figure it out and make it work. And that's really when my turning point happened. I had discovered Bree. I had discovered the world of virtual assistants. I had skills, but I could not equate my skills to what Bree was offering when I first started. But now, if you go back and look, any of us have skills, even if you're a stay-at-home mom doing just mom stuff, chores around the house, getting dinner, managing doctor's appointments, scheduling those doctor's appointments. This is literally for anybody who has anything. Like I said, you can be a stay-at-home mom and have nothing, and still you have skills that equate to skills that people are looking for. And I'll just touch for just a quick second. Somebody asked, how do I sell myself? You don't have to sell yourself. For so long, I wanted to be chosen. So I would come on these calls. I would go to these meetings, and I was fake. I was fake because I didn't know who I was or where I wanted to go. So when I started showing up as me, when I actually went in person and met with Bree, met with the team, something changed in me that during that event. I realized that I needed identity work. I realized that I needed healing work. I realized that my journey was meant for so much more. And I had put myself in this little box, and I was holding it all in, and I was squeezing, trying to come out of the box, but I didn't know how until I found the right community. So once I found these ladies, this community, the identity work, the healing work, somebody, a team, a group of people where not only did I fit in, but they supported me. And I had not had that throughout life, throughout some of the traumas that I had been through. I had not found my people to support me. And just like Naomi said, it's not a competition in this community. It wasn't about a competition. It was about, I want to see you win. I want to see your business win. I want to see your family win. And for me, I wanted to change the life of my kids and those around me. And that's really how I succeed now. And that's really how I show up, being able to say, hey, I've been there. I've been in the trenches with you. I know what you're feeling right now. I don't have the money to sign up for that course. You guys are talking great things. You're showing me great things. You're showing me that what this will do for your life, but I can't. No, you can. You have to make the decision to say, yes, I can. If that looks like Naomi or some of the others said, if you're doing stuff after the kids go to bed, if you're spending your lunch break sitting here going through the program, learning different skills every single day, every single moment, you have an opportunity to change your life. What's holding us back is our fears, the saying no, being afraid of not being chosen, and just not showing up as your true self. And that is going to hold you back every single time. That is going to hold your family back every single time. So I literally went from, not only once in life, I have rebuilt things from the ground up multiple times. I didn't know how I was going to feed my kids. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't expect to go through a divorce, and I didn't expect to take a $40,000 pay cut to get divorced. What am I going to do now? Not only did I take $40,000, I have to find a place. I have to be able to provide food. I have to be able to provide electricity. I have to be able to provide all the necessities. And as a parent, you either sink or you figure it out. And I had no other choice other than to show up for me, to show up for my kids, and to show up for those who are around me. And then that has led to so much more. Not only have I built my consulting business, I found the belief in myself. So now I have a mobile boutique. I can get out, I can pop up my trailer all around town, all around different towns, whatever I want to do. I can travel as far as close as I want. And not only am I engaging, I'm meeting people, and I get to do what my passion is. So not only do I have my consulting business, not only do I help other businesses continue to build and grow their businesses and be their support that they needed, I am now mentoring and teaching other ladies how to do the same stuff. I'm able to help with the in Bree's group, in the Valid group, with different people who have come and contacted me. How did you do it? How I see that you've come from nothing and now you have multiple businesses. And just a little fun fact that I have to share, because who doesn't want to share this? Hold on. A client just this morning, right before, so you're building virtual businesses was the past. It's absolutely the pathway. It is absolutely. And something that I'm going to share this in just a second, but something you guys may not know. Now I'm getting my real estate license as well, because not only do we come into contact with people through our businesses, not only do I come in contact with people in the community through my mobile boutique, now I'm meeting more people who need more services. So if you guys have been around, you guys know that helping build businesses is me. I have a background in real estate, helping projects, build houses, all of those things. And I started working with Bree's agents, and I've kind of fallen into that path, kind of like, I think it was Naomi that said she started out thinking her client base was going to be this, and then it turns into that. And it has led to so many different opportunities. And what I was going to share, even this morning, I got a text message that said, also, please write yourself a double payment for the week for helping pick up the slack. You guys have so many opportunities out there. So I built within 2 months, I doubled my corporate income. I doubled what I was making. And not only did I double it, now I'm helping others double their life and be able to have the same life that you guys see. You're able write yourself a double payment. That is literally, I get tears even talking about it. But here's the message. Hold on. I'll zoom in because it's too good not to. Also, please write yourself a double payment. That is not the first time I found or touched clients that did this. My very first client I found actually here in Vala, and it's been almost a year ago. I think he started with 20 hours, and within 2 weeks of working with him, he moved up to over 100 hours a month. And that's because of what you guys believed in me. And that's what I want to be sure that you guys understand. Not only are you getting the how-to so you don't have to figure it out. So glad you're here too. Not only do you guys have to figure it out, Bree's already figured it out. She's already given you the base of how to do it. Anybody sitting in this meeting wanted more, or you wouldn't be in this room. You wouldn't be in here with the collective of people who want to do more. So you're already halfway there. The next part is the saying yes. Saying yes, and then wait a year and see where you're at, because I guarantee being in the room, being in this community, being in with Valid, learning the lessons, learning the tech stuff, you will not be in the same place a year from now. You just won't. And I challenge all of you to believe in yourself, to be able to say the yes, because if I hadn't have said the yes, I would have still been struggling. I still would have had the mindset, where is my next paycheck coming from? Where is my next meal coming from? I wasted 6 months, so you can do it in 6 months. You can do it in, just believe in yourself. You don't have to have it perfect. So many of us get stuck in the, I have to know all the things. You don't have to know all the things. You have to start. Part of starting is being able to go back and change and evolve. We're all growing. You hit 10,000. Yes, I did hit 10K months in 90 days of working with Vala, and it was absolutely, it's life changing. My daughter's on this call. Others that I have touched are on this call and in this room right now who have been there, who have seen from the ground up. They've seen me in the pits, they've seen me in the struggles, and now they're getting to see the other side of it. So you can absolutely get there. And I'm going to tell you now, my daughter, I'm going to say this because she's in the room, of course, but I'd probably tell you this story anyway. She was going to go to school. She was going to go to college. Okay. And then she has seen all that I'm doing with my real estate clients. I have a farm manufacturer company. We're opening 2 new plants across the US this year. There's so much stuff happening in my world, including continuing to build other businesses. You don't have to be that person, but in me, that's my passion and that's what I've done. So she is seeing all of these things take place. She has seen where I have come from, and she's like, Mom, I don't know that I want to go for a 4-year college degree anymore. You know what? You don't have to. You do not have to spend that money. Your children do not have to spend that money. What Bree is teaching you is absolutely going to replace 4 years of college, 4 years of money sitting there doing things, because she has already figured it out and she has already given you the trajectory for your business and to be able to continue to grow. And that's what I'm so passionate about. So of course I want her to have a degree to fall back on something. So she's still attending she's still doing the 2-year degree. She works for me. She's up to 20 to 30 hours a week now. I've not only changed my life, but she's 17 and is finishing her first year of her first semester of college, but she's also seeing the real world, seeing what Vala did for me, seeing what it can do for you guys and what it can do for your life. So I am changing her life at 17 just because of this program. She's not going to college. She graduated a year early because she has seen what doing the work can do and believing in yourself. And I will always forever be indebted to all of you ladies in this community. And I am here for you. I am on Instagram, Virtually Inspired Assist. Feel free to reach out if you guys need some inspiration. If you need somebody that's just to clap for you and say, we're here for you. We will figure that out. You have a discovery call tomorrow. You have the team. You have the powerhouse women who are making more than 5 figures, who can double your salary, who can go from $17 one week, $17 an hour to multiple figures within just a little bit of time. You just have to believe in yourself and start somewhere. And that's where so many of us get so hung up, is we think, oh, she did it, I can't do that. We're competing against people who do not even have to be competed against. You're competing against yourself. Show up and believe in yourself. Do you guys have any questions? I want to give you real life examples and real life answers. Now is the time. Put those questions in the chat. We will help you. You have an immaculate group of women here that are supporting you, who are believing in you, who want to be there for you. Ask the questions now. What is it that you're struggling with?
I wanted to see. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I had no idea your daughter was going to be here. I'm wondering if she wants to. Does she want to come up and share some of her reflections on seeing you build your business? If she's comfortable. She doesn't have to.
I'm not sure. Oh, she said she can. Okay, awesome. She's actually at a client's right now. They all support me. It's all in my little community, and we can donate now 10 hours a week back to that nonprofit through all of this work. So you guys get out there and do it. You're not only changing your life of you, your family, you're changing others as well. Hannah, if you can go ahead and come on, you can. What would you tell yourself when you were stuck? When I was stuck, I had a mindset that I was not enough. I had a mindset that I did not know enough, that I could not do enough. I had had so much negativity in my life, and I had tried to fight through the trenches. I didn't believe in myself. And just from last year to this year, the amount of growth that I have done, it has led to a healing journey. It has led to a place in my life where I had to figure out who I was. I did not have to wait for perfection. I wanted to be a perfectionist. I wanted to wait until I had all the pieces together. And that's not how this puzzle works. You can rearrange your puzzle 900 times until it works for you.
So good. Yeah, like it doesn't usually how it ends up happening is not even how you imagined it would, but you would never like find it or get there unless you moved. Hannah, come on up. This is so fun.
Hannah, where are you?
Does anyone ever call you Hannah Banana? I'm like, Hannah Banana, come hang out.
They do. Her nickname, even from when she was little, we put it on her bike at one point. It's Hannah Boo. So now, even in front of clients and stuff, I catch myself saying Hannah Boo, and I'm like, whoops. It's just been there since a kid.
That is so, I mean, that is my dream. My kids are young right now, but I'm like, I would love to pass them my business or like bring them into the business when they're of working age. So I'm like, this is so freaking cool. Ooh, good question from Elena. Love that.
What daily practices can we do to encourage self-belief and self-trust? You have to continually repeat and get away from the negative talk. We are all trained from when we were younger to we do this self-negative talk. I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I don't know enough. I don't know all of those things. And it completely, the mindset work. You have to do the mindset work. And as a business owner, as an employee of somebody else, if you want to show up as your best, you have to get out of the negative mindset. Negative feeds negative, positive feeds positive. You have to show up in a positive way.
So good. So good. Any other questions for Tanya before we shift gears?
I think Hannah is on.
Okay, yes. Are you there, Hannah? I wonder if are you unmuted? I wonder if that's why you're not popping up. Let's see, gallery. Where's Hannah?
She's under Smith.
Okay, let me see if I can unmute her or ask her to unmute from my end. One sec. Should pop up a notification.
There she is.
Okay. Maybe. Oh shoot, I can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Are you unmuted?
But you're adorable.
Take your Bluetooth headphones off. It's not working.
Oh.
Do you have your earbuds in?
Oh,
no.
Dang it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, maybe we can if you want to email us and then we can email out something from Hannah to everyone. Yeah, that would be amazing. Oh my gosh, so special. Oh, particularly, I feel really touched, like I shared, just because I would love to have my daughters involved in my business. That is amazing. Who else has kids and is like, wow, what a dream if we could build our businesses so that our kids can work in them too. Yes, Megan says yes. And Nisi, amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, Tanya, what is the best way for people to find you if they, want to reach out, want to get started in your world? What does that look like?
The best way right now is to find me on Instagram, Virtually Inspired Assist. Bree dropped it. Find me there. We're in a rebranding. Naomi, I probably need you. As you level up, that's the fun thing about all of this. We can change our systems. We can change our branding. We get to change and show up as who we want to be and who we evolve to be.
So true. Yes. It's like, it's almost, I don't know if a game is the right word, but it's just like, you're just like, you can create, I think you realize through business that you can create anything. You can have anything, be anything, do anything. And it's just this game of constantly expanding. Like Naomi was saying, constantly learning. Okay. Wow, you guys, we did it. I want to hear in the chat, what are your biggest like reflections, takeaways, any like breakthrough moments? Did one of the speakers say something where you're like, wow, like holy moly, I never even thought about that before? And if any of you feel called to, I would love to pull up a couple people to share their reflections. Okay, Delana asked, what are the certifications based on? So we certify on technical skills, and specifically the services that people hire for or things that virtual assistant clients hire for. Because that was one of the biggest gaps that I saw was like, okay, if I'm a new VA, and people, looking at the job market, it's like build my emails, like email marketing automations, build my funnels. And a lot of when you're new to the VA space, sometimes it's like a whole nother language. So we basically created the certification to address the most common things that business owners hire for and to teach you step by step how to do that. So, building the funnels, bookkeeping is one of the ones, client onboarding, all of that. Yes. Okay, Elena. I don't know if you want to, Elena. Do you want to come up and share more on that, on your takeaway? If you
Are
feel
you
like it.
saying are you saying Delana?
Oh, I was Elena. She shared where I start is not where I finish. But yes, Delena,
Oh,
you're
okay.
up. Tell
Oh,
us
I'm
your
sorry. Go
biggest.
ahead.
No, no, go ahead. Tell us your biggest reflections.
Um, I have been in sales and a realtor, and I work from home right now, which is terrific in sales, and I just feel that I'm capped at where I am. Plus, my son is in college, and he has had difficulty getting work study, and he's at USC, so every year they increase tuition.
Oh my
And so, and at the same time, he's doing his part, and uh, so I want to, it's hard to find a job, like 20 hours a week or something like that. So in a way, helping him to get a job is what started me on this whole journey.
God.
Yet I have built a real estate team, so I'm interested in this and what the certifications are and what AI is and how, I've just been doing some research and I really like the community here and the certifications because I think that gives, and my vision is to create a team and bring people on, whether it's all his buddies who are in college and are eating, not him but his friends are eating ramen and mac cheese and
Yeah.
hot dogs, and if they're able to work like 10, 20 hours a week doing something, then that just helps them maybe have a some chicken once or twice a week,
Yeah, absolutely.
so
Wow. Oh my
that's kind of
gosh.
where I am.
I love that. Yeah. So it's like you have the chops, you have the experience, the background, and just seeing that bigger vision. And I'm sure Tanya's share was probably particularly meaningful with having her daughter in the
Yes,
business.
very much. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it's that big transition when kids are in school to getting a job. And because it's so hard to get a job right now,
Yeah.
and then they try to get a job in the summer for just a few hours, but also try to get just headspace to get away from studying so much, and just giving them a little confidence, a little bit of money, and, like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too. We should have Hannah come up another time because I think the workforce has changed so much and to give them the actual work experience inside businesses in that context instead of
Yeah.
like learning from a textbook in college, I mean, they have like light years of leg up on college students.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Especially if, that's why I was interested in the like AI certifications that, that uh, 'cause he's also building resumes now. So it's all like, what did you do? Like, what accomplishments did you do? I built a email marketing program. I did this. I increased the um, sales from A to Z, whatever. So this is just building their resume
Oh my
and
gosh.
that.
I I love that. You're like, I gotta do this for my kiddos, like for me and for them.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Well, I'm so happy you're here today. Okay, Elena said she would come up and then oh, where are you? We
I don't
have
know if
yeah,
you
and
guys can
music
hear
too.
me.
Hello. You have the most amazing voice, by
Hi.
the way, Elena.
Thank you. I get told that a lot, so it makes me laugh that I don't do like podcast or video annotations or things like that. But I guess perks of being a lifelong receptionist, because that is what I used to do a lot before. I worked in a call center for my college actually. So it's really interesting that we're all sharing about like that experience, because that's when I first learned, like you could be a virtual assistant. I was just in college at the time. So, my biggest takeaway is to just start, right? Because I struggled a lot, and I think like my question with Tanya made it into the group, but like believing in myself and realizing that yeah, I'm believing in myself, but not forcing myself to be perfect, right? It doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to start because I already have the experience, and then also too relinquishing this like super large amount of pressure almost that if I'm not doing it perfectly, then oh my goodness, then maybe my success isn't coming. But my success isn't coming from being perfect or from like getting everything together or knowing enough. It's coming from consistently showing up, consistently exploring opportunities, being consistent. So that's like my big takeaway, because I think I've had so much pressure on myself to like, and you can't see me, but like make it work. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's not the way you grow. You don't grow from making things work. You grow from consistently trying. Because it's like where you start is not where you finish. And like what an honor it is to have the the constant ability to shift and to pivot and to keep trying. And also, like you say all the time, and like some of the courses and the coaching calls I've been in, because I've been in Vala for about 2 weeks now, right? Like everybody here is so supportive. And also, everybody here has said the same thing over and over again. Okay, it's going to suck and you're going to be uncomfortable, but like it's not the end of the world. And we're all here still today. And so just kind of like leaning in and embracing it and reminding myself, like, where I start is not where I finish. It's cool to make mistakes and like it's going to be okay.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, 2 weeks in, even I think that would be a cool reflection. Because, by the way, for those of you who are live with us, and I probably should have said this earlier, we have a special invitation into Vala for you, which I will share here in a second. And if you're live on the call, you get like a secret special invitation that no one else gets. So stay tuned for a second. But Elena, if you don't mind sharing just really quickly, and then I would love to have Anisi up too to share her reflections. How has it been so far? 2 weeks inside of Vala. What is your impression, interpretation? How does it feel?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm the kind of person that when I put my mind to something, I kind of hit the ground running, and I joke because I'm like a family of runners. That's just the way we are, right? And endurance is a sport for sure, but sprints are a measure of capacity. So 2 weeks in, I feel so supported. I feel like so like reignited about excitement for my business. I actually started my business 2 years ago, kind of like in the void of like picking up pieces and not really knowing what to do and what to implement. And so like having a space where one, I can ask like all the questions. I've not had to sit in isolation at any point in time. And then two, knowing that like there's resources, there's direction, and then there is like not just the support of like the cohort and the community, but the literal support of like it's not I don't really know that it's called curriculum, but like I've been in here 2 weeks and I've already helped my client set up one of the resources for their own business just in being in Vala, right? Like it's crazy how like excited I am. I haven't been this excited in such a long time. And it's not just the excitement of like hope, but it's the excitement of like actual like change, actual steps that I'm literally seeing make a difference. And there are quick wins, there's longevity wins, and like still only being 2 weeks in, I feel like wow, this is just the beginning. Like
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Wait, did you plug in one of the agentic AI? Was that, I know
I
we were talking
did.
about.
We're using Claude. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So she's a website designer, and she does like really high-end luxury services. Like she works for a lot of contractors in the state that I'm in. And so like looking at some of these proposals, like these are website builds that she's been doing for years, right? Like, just a side note, the state that I live in a long time ago had an issue with the whole state website. So for 2 weeks, the whole state website was down. Didn't know she was part of fixing that. It's a really big project. So she's got tons of emails that she's trying to track. And we put the agentic AI in there for her. So one, it's giving her like the download every single time. She's not trying to like flip through all this stuff and remember it. It's piecing it together for her. Two, it's the draft emails. And then three, like we literally saved her like 6 hours a week because she was letting this interrupt her workflow every single time her email inbox pinged. So now it's like, okay, you can focus. And we're doing time blocking and things like that too to help kind of reorganize some things. But it's been crazy. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. And like the most exciting, most opportunistic, most like hopeful, like wow. Like I feel like it's spring. So it's been my metaphor a lot lately, but like what amazing seeds we're all sowing. And like what a wonderful, like just all of it. Like the ecosystem is what I keep thinking of. So
Oh my gosh. And talk about the ripple effect. Like we talked about this with like Tanya and our children and our children's children, but like I'm like the cute little agentic AI, Vala AI lab. It's not cute and little, it's like amazing, but I'm like the ripple effect of like one person learning that, plugging it in, like affecting a whole state's website. Like this, and this is like for all of you guys, it's like you never know the things that you learn, the things that you do, the work inside of a business, like the ripple effect there. Oh, Stephanie, absolutely. I think that's the best part about being a VA. There's no borders. You can do it you can live in Thailand. Actually, well, I think Kaylee's on. Kaylee lives in Vietnam. We have one of our Vala students, she's a grad. She is earning 5K plus months USD living in Vietnam, from Vietnam. Like freaking amazing. So yeah, no borders whatsoever. Anisi, hopefully I'm saying your name right. Come on up. I want to hear your reflections. Taylor, this is amazing. South Korea.
Yes. So what I just pretty much got from everybody's story is that as a business owner and just a VA is constantly learning. So I started with Bree. I started my business in July of last year, and I did start with you, and I got a lot of good information. And then I said, "Oh, well, I know everything. Let me just continue to, go and do my own thing." And then as I really got into my business and really did things, I had an epiphany, and I was like, I need to learn more. I need to know more. And I think the first step in like learning more is understanding that you are needing and willing to be taught. And I'm, telling myself, okay, I need to sit down now and be taught by someone who knows more so I can learn more and do more. And so a lot of y'all started in different places and had your own stories, but you were always willing to learn more and get more insight. And so that's always a good thing when you're trying to, just make things better and bigger.
Wow. Ooh, I love that. That gives me the goosebumps. And you're so right. Is it, and am I saying your name right? Anisi? Is that
I
right?
have no idea why the A is missing in my thing, but it's Anicia.
Anicia. Okay. Amazing. I think you're so right. Like, I think every single speaker touched on that, it's just getting in there, learning as you go, always being open to learning and expanding your skill set, your mindset, all of that. Oh, I love it. Amazing. Okay. So I want to know, who here that's live with us is in Vala. Put Vala in the chat. And okay, cool. And then I want to hear what's your favorite part about Vala? If you had to, I know it's a mean question to ask, but if you had to pick one favorite thing, what would it be? Look at all of our Vala queens, the community. I love it. Community, yes, it's the best. Community. Oh, the best woman in the world. The people, community, amazing. Okay. Now, oh, Tanya, I love you. A lifetime access. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now I want to hear, for those of you who are not yet in Vala, what's the one thing where you're like, I feel a tug? Like, is there one thing in particular? I want to hear what that is. You're like, this would be amazing to have support with. Put that in the chat. And while you do that, so I would love, we have it, we're opening up the doors to Vala. We've got some really exciting bonuses, savings, opportunities. Delana, how to get clients. Yes. Christy, confidence and support, scaling and growing the community. I love this. Yes, yes, yes to all of that. So for those of you who are live with us right now, we actually have a special surprise for you that, like, I'm sorry to those of you who are listening to the replay. Who are not here with us, we have something special for those of you who are live. So we are opening the doors to Vala for the next 5 days, and you get $800 off. You get a personal introduction to my community of 15,000 business builders who are hiring VAs. You get access to the Vala AI lab. So this is everyone for the next 5 days. Now, for the next 48 hours, those of you who enroll on a pay in full, you also get a VA Fest Live ticket. We haven't even talked about VA Fest Live. This is the first ever, I know, guys, I know. This is the first ever conference live event and experience for virtual assistants. It's mid-June in Minneapolis, major airport, super easy to fly into. A lot of the women here are going to the event, so you get to hang out with all of us in person. World-class speakers. I mean, I'm talking like Lou Clark. A lot of you guys probably know Lou Clark. She's been in business 30 years. She's managed 900 million. She's a cash flow genius. Some like Naomi speaking on our success panel, Kate speaking on the success panel. So anyways, not only that, you also, for anyone who decides to pay in full, you can use Klarna or Affirm. I'm going to build your portfolio for you. My portfolio system, I booked a 2K a month client in 3 days, and I recently offered this as a bonus for a small handful of people, and I loved it. I didn't know I would love building your portfolio so much. It was so fun. And so I want to do that for those of you who enroll. I think, I can't remember team Zoe and Emma, and I want to pull Zoe and Emma up really quickly too, but I can't remember if we had said for the full, let's just say for the full 5 days, if you pay in full, I'm going to be crazy and build your portfolio. Now, for those of you who are on live with us only, you get, yeah, thank you, Emma. Those of you who are live only, you also get $1,000 off instead of the public 800. So, and we have special codes for that. You can use your code, use the codes. There's the links. Join us inside of Vala. Like you've heard today, I mean, it's like the magic, you obviously you know your child is 8 years old. I love that. Yes. My girls are so going to work in my business. Thank you, Tanya, for sharing that pathway. Yes. But I mean, like I think we've all heard and seen today is like obviously, you know, there's the proven system, like you'll get to your goals, but I think what's most impactful is the unknown, the unknown pathway, the magic of just getting in the room, opening doors, making those connections. And I just like, how fun is it to imagine that a year from now, less than a year from now, you could be and you will be the one up here on Breadwinner sharing your story. And just think, like, we don't even know how it's going to unfold, but the one thing we do know is that if you get in the room and you you take action, you immerse yourself in the community and the calls, we know that success is inevitable. And you know, it'll build beyond what you can even fathom right now, which I just think is so fun and exciting. I want to pull up really quickly Emma and Zoe. This is the sign. Yes. So Emma is on our client success team and on the enrollment team. And so she, if you've ever booked a call or do book a call to learn more about Vala, she's the one that you would chat with. And so I wanted to just pull her up so you guys can meet her and get to know her. She's amazing. You want to come on up, Emma?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah.
Hey. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Emma. Hi, Bree. Look, everyone's in the comments. So the ones that are inside Vala, they know me. Yes, I help bring people into Vala, and it is my favorite job. It is my favorite job because not only am I meeting you at the beginning, but I'm actually seeing the growth happen in real time with even just the women that are inside today that they've joined a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, already signing clients, right? Building out their portfolio, being inside the community, learning these new AI agentic skills, right? Just seeing the massive growth in such a short period of time. Like when you think about it, 60 days, like that's nothing. That's nothing. Right. And just being able to hear where they've been at the beginning, thinking, I don't even know if I can quit my corporate job. I don't know if I can, bring in more money that I'm making right now. I don't know, insert right here. And then watching them blow all of those reasonings out of the park in a matter of 3 months, 2 months, 2 weeks. It's incredible to see. And I think we limit ourselves all of the time. But when you're around people and women who, yes, may also feel that fear and limit themselves too. But when you're around them and you're seeing this in real time, how quickly your life can turn around, right? It does something to the psyche. It does something to the brain. You can't be the same person you entered Vala as. So I'm so excited. If you want to learn more about it and just talk and have a really in-depth conversation, not just about, oh, let's get you into the program, we want to make sure it's right. So come talk to me, right? Send a message, reply to the emails. Let's have a good conversation. Doesn't have to be too long, but yeah, I'm here to support you, and I really want to learn more about where you're at and how we can take you to where you specifically need to be. So thanks, Bree. Well, I didn't realize I was going to make a little speech, but
Love it. You're like, let's go. Oh my gosh, we love you. Okay, no, this is a fun one. You guys get to meet Zoe. Zoe was the one who I shared at the beginning. She's been on the team for, a couple months now. Absolutely freaking amazing. Actually, funny story too. Zoe was an agency client who hired Avala VA a year ago. And then Zoe had the awareness. She's like, wait, I want to be in other people's businesses. So she reached out to me like out of the blue and she's like, hey, are you hiring? Because I loved working with you in the agency. And I was like, no, I'm not. I wasn't. But her message stuck with me for like 2 weeks. And I was like, wait, Zoe, actually, let's talk. And I mean, the rest is history. You've been amazing. And what is so cool about Zoe's story is she plugged into Vala. She hit 5K months in weeks.
Yeah,
Hi.
literally. I think like I've been in the like coaching industry for the last 2 years, and I mean, I have constantly pivoted, run into like brick walls, just not felt aligned with like everything and anything that I was doing. And there was a period of time, and this is when I hired a VA through Bree, where I did have high cash months, but I literally felt like I was selling my soul for it. And then, yeah, then it just kind of unfolded where I had reached out to Bree because I felt like, actually, I found out I was pregnant again. So this is what changed the trajectory for me, because I was like, I have seen for the last 2 years these women creating incredible businesses. I have watched people do it, and I'm literally not doing it myself. So I just on a whim reached out to Bree because I know we had a bit of a relationship, just to see if she was hiring. And then obviously that unfolded that way. And of course, she gave me access to the school community. And I felt like I was being a bit of a criminal because I kept dipping into the training and thinking, this looks so good, and the community and seeing everyone's wins. And so I ended up chatting to her and just saying, is it okay if I actually go through this? And she was like, definitely go for it. So that was 2 weeks and 2 days ago. And today I landed my biggest client, nearly 3K, hit 5K months, and a potential referral coming through. So I could be looking at anywhere between 7 and 8K just within the next, like within 3 weeks of being in the academy. So I cannot like shout about Bree, the community, everyone, the agency. Like there is something so elite about this academy. And trust me, over the last 2 years, I have been in many spaces. I've literally spent my whole life savings. And now like this place is where you need to be. If this is like, yeah, if you want to change your life and actually just create something that you know will create huge impact. If you're a mum, like it will allow you to be with your children. I'm going to be due in August and I have no worries or fear about workload at all. Like I get to choose my hours and it's just beautiful. So yeah, if you're not in, I always struggle to say Vala because I feel like in a British accent, I don't sound as good as you guys in America, but
So much cooler. So much cooler.
Thank you. It will be the best thing you ever do. And thank you, Bree.
Oh my gosh, so fun. I feel like the magic of live experiences like this is that we get to co-create them together. We never know where they're gonna go. Like Tanya's daughter coming up, and like Zoe's story today, I'm like, that was not planned. Building the portfolio for you, also not planned. We're just like, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. We're ready to rock and roll with you. Oh my goodness. Okay. You guys, we did it. We did it. So Emma's putting the options in. The $1,000 off is only on the call. We're turning that code off when this is done. And then we'll put out an email here shortly where you can enroll for 800 off. Note that if you pay in full, you get the VA Fest Live ticket. You also get me building your portfolio for you. And you can use Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay if you're in the States. Honestly, the payment options are probably less than our internal payment plan. So, that's something to consider too. But we can't wait to welcome you into the best community ever. Like, I love what everyone said too. Like, there's no competition. We're all building alongside each other. I mean, like I was laughing because I'm like, oh, I forgot. I don't know who has kids. The dumpling squishies are really popular right now. I don't know. I'm like, oh, I forgot to clear that off of my daughter's dresser. Oh well, yeah, it's so weird. I don't get what kids are up to these days. changes every week. But anyways, yes. Okay. This was so fun. Okay, Murda, you know what's funny is I live in a tiny town, our gas station had them. And so then all the kids in town in this tiny little town are like, you got to go to Arco. Yeah. So we like raced after school, sure enough. Anyways, oh, the joys of being a mom. Yeah. Well, what an incredible time together. Thank you for showing up live. Thank you for sharing your energy, your love, your intention. We'll be sending out emails here shortly so you can get a visual on all of the details. Note though that the $1,000 off code does expire when the call closes. So if you're like, you know what? I trust myself. I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna go for it. You have such a safe and soft landing inside of a proven system, proven community. Like all of the amazing women that you got to meet today are going to be right alongside you doing the thing. There's so much love inside of Vala, and there always will be because that's, me, the team, like that is our core value is love, inclusivity, safety, but also let's dream as big as we could possibly go and go for it. So, all right. I love you guys. What a day. Thank you so much to Chelsea, to Kate, to Naomi, to Tanya, sharing your stories, sharing all the things, the highs, the lows, the messy middle, what you've been able to create. And I can't wait to do more breadwinners. Breadwinners, is that the right word? More breadwinner workshops. And I can't wait to feature your story. I want you guys to put in the chat who is claiming, put breadwinner in the chat. If you're like, mother freaking A, you're going to be featuring me up there. Zoe, yes. Christy, let's go. Emma, yes. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to be busy, you guys. Anicia, yes. Heidi, oh my gosh, let's go. I can't wait. I literally cannot wait to feature you up here. This is amazing. Okay, well, I will be seeing a lot of you in person at VA Fest Live. If you get your ticket or if you get your enrollment into Vala, we'll see you there. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. All right. Mwah. So much love to all of you. What a day. Can't wait to see you inside. Bye, everybody.